minus 15 seconds. Guidance is internal. 12, 11, 10, 9. Ignition sequence start. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. All engine running. Liftoff. We have a liftoff. Armstrong reporting the roll and pitch program, which puts Apollo 11 on a proper heading.
At Africa Skills Private College in George, Centurion, Rustenburg, Soshanguve, and Pafada in South Africa, you can apply for the next intake of apprentices. An artisan is a skilled, formally trained, and trade-tested person who successfully completed a 3-year apprenticeship program. Africa Skills also offer work-based learnerships for 16 to 35-year-olds, short courses, and online courses. Welders, boiler makers, and diesel mechanics are and will remain in demand worldwide. In Africa Skills Live, we chat to a welder and boiler maker by trade, also introduce you to Danie Otto from Swift Nova Engineering, and we'll meet Athini Oliphant, a learner welder. Welcome to you, Wynand Knoetse. Thank you for joining us on Africa Skills Live. So, I want to find out from you. You have 2 Red Seal certified qualifications. Take us through the difference from when you got trained and what Africa Skills is currently offering to its students.
So basically, how can I tell you, it's not a lot of difference between the two of today. Only on that years when we did our training, we did 1 year institutional, and then we did 4 years outside by the companies. So that's where we get our plant experience before we rotated. So it was basically a 5-year course what we did. So, but if you go and look at it today with the QCTO, with the new training development and what's happening, it's not a big difference. Only what's different is 2 years. So if you have a proper assessors and proper people who's training the learners, it doesn't make a big difference, because after they qualify, they will still get the time to build up the experience and exposure outside. But inside, as long as we give a proper training inside the institutionals, we will know that we have good welders and boilermakers outside.
All right. And so I want to take you back in your journey. What is it that made you decide that you wanted to go into the field of welding and boilermakers? What is that? What was the inspiration at the time?
So you see, in my line, on my family side, my uncle was a welder.
Okay.
So when I went to the school, I was in Tugela High School in Newcastle.
Okay.
So that was a practical school. So I've done welding and carpentry on that side. So after I finished at school, I applied by Amayuba High School. And then from there, we went to Amayuba College. I studied there, and then I went further into welding. And that's where my line went into welding. And as I see boilermaking also, it pulled me into that direction.
Would you call it passion?
It's passion. Right. If you don't have passion for welding and boilermaking, it won't happen for you. So you can develop passion with time. It's not always to say that you will always say, listen, it won't happen. But if you have the passion in your heart and you are really committed to it, you can make a success in your life at the end of the day.
And so to now come to what Africa Skills offers in those fields, tell us a little bit and give us an overview of how long does the course take, or how long does the program take, and what are some of the elements that one needs to be conscious of as a student interested in that?
So when you start by us for welding or boilermaking, it's automatically a 3-year course.
Yes.
So sometimes they put it into a 6 months institutional, and then your 18 months outside. But otherwise, it takes you your first year, then you go out, then your second year, and then your third year. But normally it takes 3 years. And then in the institutional, we cover all the basic fundamentals, and we cover the practical components for the learners. So on welding side, we cover all your welding specifications and your welding techniques, what we are doing. So when you go out there, you have all the basic experience and the basic knowledge how to do it. And you must always remember, although we have taught you everything inside the training center, you still need to adapt outside. If you don't adapt outside and not learning yourself and building yourself up, you will not get to 100% point. So you mustn't think because you are now passed in a college, you are perfect. It's always room for improvement. Same in boilermaking. Boilermaking is now a different skill, techniques, everything. It's not as easy as welding. On the end of the day, if you learn the basic principles, you understand it quickly. There you need to see behind drawings. You need to see the developments, everything. If you can't see that part, you cannot become a boilermaker, because you need to see what you're going to make before you even start it. So when you see a pattern or a normal drawing, you will know exactly what the development in the pattern is going to look like. So once you have that eye, that you can see everything behind the scene, you will know you are perfect. Then you will go further in life. But if you can't see that, you are going to have problems on the end of the day.
And so I just want us to wrap up with a little bit more detail on the value of that practical exposure, from not just a theoretical standpoint, but making sure that students are able to get that practical exposure, they're in the field. What's the details with that? What are some of the things that they can be exposed to with boilermaking and welding?
So if you look at, on the end of the day, when we give you the theoretical component, your theoretical component automatically links with your practical component. If you don't understand your practical and your theoretical together, when you go outside to the field, you are going to pick up some challenges for yourself. You're not going to understand everything 100%. So when we're in the college, we make sure we integrate the two together, so that when the learner goes out and he start to get exposure outside and he start to understand what's happening, then he can already see what we have taught him and he can adapt that to his knowledge outside. So your practical and your theoretical is something that works hand in hand. You cannot just say, listen, yeah, I know theoretical, but I don't need a lot of practical training. So if the two doesn't interlink with one another, you're going to have problems on the end of the day. Even if you want to do, for instance, I'm just giving an example, RPL, after your 3 years, what you have experienced outside, if you didn't do training inside, you're going to pick up problems. So it's always needed to have your theoretical and your practical knowledge, to have it all combined, so you know, listen, yeah, have a solid foundation, what's been built for you, and from there on you can work yourself upwards. So you don't have to say, listen, yeah,
I need to go back.
I need to go back to a college and to study for in N2 or N3, something like that. But from there you can build yourself up.
And so I know I said last question, but this just came to me. Take me through your experience having worked with the Africa Skills team. What has that been now from a very personal standpoint? How have you been, how has that experience and journey been for you?
Let me tell you, when I started at ASV on about 3.5 years, 4 years back, I must say it's a family business. Everybody's like a family inside. And there's always someone to help you. If you were struggling with something, they are there to commit. So for me as a session moderator, facilitator on the welding and boilermaking side, there was always questions that I ask. And even if I can't get the questions or the answers there, they find out for you. So for me, if you can be at ASV, come and study there, you are in good hands. Doesn't matter if you're in welding, boilermaking, or any other trade. We are there as family. We are there to make sure our learners is looked after and being taken care after on the end of the day.
Wynand, thank you so much. I appreciate. And so thank you so much for being with us and getting us excited about the wonderful world of welding and with all that it can offer. And especially, what more can we say about the creative and skillful world of welders and boilermakers who install and maintain the boiler systems and containers holding liquids and gases in our homes, in our businesses, and in every space that we are. Thank you so much once again. Looking forward to talking once again in the future.
Problem. Thank you.
All engine running. Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
So next up, to spoil you with first-hand information about the value and importance of experiential training whilst doing your apprenticeship at Africa Skills is the Director of Swift Nova Engineering Solutions, Danie Otto, that is a host employer for Africa Skills. Danie, thank you so much for joining us in studio.
Oh, thank you for having me, Yuri. And it's an absolute pleasure to be associated with the Africa Skills. And let's see how we can make the lives of artisans better.
Amazing. So let's dive into that. Now, as a host employer, take us through the importance and the value that being a host employer, especially in the industry that you are, is to you.
At Swift Nova, we are dedicated to ensuring our apprentices, the hardware pays off. Our comprehensive learning environment goes beyond traditional instruction. We are focusing on the hands-on projects, the exposure to the real-world challenges. The mentorship is done by seasoned professionals. We emphasize on the cutting-edge technologies and the industry best practices. But we are also preparing our apprentices to lead advancements in this industry of engineering, but also the social cohesion, because without that, we basically lose them. Our commitment is not just individual success, but also the shaping of the future, not only of the individual, but also of the engineering in the engineering industry. But it's also transformative experiences we offer to these apprentices that will one day become husbands, mentors, business owners, and hopefully sit in my chair one day so that they can have this interview with you, Yuri.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Thank you. That's amazing. And so to dive a little bit more into those benefits that you spoke about, when a student joins you as a host employer, some of the benefits that they gain as an apprentice at Swift Nova, what are some of those benefits?
So the benefits are twofold. I'm going to be cautious to say that it's only to them, because we also receive benefits from this training, because obviously we are seeing new youngsters coming into the industry with new ideas. I hate to use the word millennials, but it's true. I've got to myself, young kids, they are different than what it used to be. So hosting apprentices at Swift Nova is critical to our organization. It is not just about providing the training, but it is also planting the seeds for the future. And you'll hear that I speak constantly about the future, because that's where we are going. We also gain the fresh perspective, which I've touched on, from these students. And we are also fostering innovation and making the workplace more dynamic. But it's also our way, which is mutually beneficial, to form relationship, but also to find new future stars in our industry. We also look at the community and the advances that they offer, because obviously through an trained artisan becoming a business person or a business owner, they will in one day end up also providing employment. And if they've got the technical skill, but they're missing that community sense, that sense of, being a leader, being a father, being a mother, in the case of where we're getting women artisans, we lose complete focus on it. But it's contributing to the broader community and the professional industry of engineering.
And so let's dive into a little bit about, what you guys do. So from an Africa skills perspective, with skills like diesel mechanics and boiler makers, when it comes to Swift Nova and just the vision of tomorrow and the future that you speak about, why are some of those skills very crucial for artisans to learn?
I think firstly because the engineering industry has become a very stringent and safety conscious environment. So with speaking about this community involvement and the person, and you'll see that I focus on the person, not so much on the skill, because that brings and fosters the safety perspectives, the innovations, and obviously also to empower them that they can go out in the industry and say, listen, but there's actually more than just the artisan field, because it goes further than that. Because obviously you'll also see that when people have good safety measures at work, they take it home. It gets instilled in them, yeah. So the future professionals that we train contribute to the industry's safety and reliability standards. That's a fact. And then obviously playing a crucial role in the constructing and maintaining of infrastructure. As we are seeing that infrastructure in South Africa has failed us, and we need those artisans to make sure that they're up and running again, because it eventually ends up in the economy, it affects businesses, but it also affects morale. And therefore it's important that we provide the specialized skill, we provide attention to detail, and then indispensable in meeting the stringent and the qualifications and certifications and safety to the various sectors. And that's what makes them valuable assets in the industry and our society.
Wonderful. And so in closing, when you spoke about it earlier as well, mentorship, and how it goes actually beyond that, when students do join Swift Nova and they come in as young artisans, is it beyond just monitoring? What are some of those transferable skills that you focus on giving them?
In host employment alone, we focus on the engineering. That's what we as a company do. But as an individual and as a leader of the business, we go beyond the monitoring. We actively engage with the hands-on learning. We make sure that they acquire the practical skills, and then the guidance that they get from the mentors in the professional. Host employers like us offer a very dynamic learning environment where apprentices not only receive mentorship but also contribute to the real projects, the bigger ones. This ensures a comprehensive learning experience, blending theoretical knowledge with practical application, but preparing apprentices for a successful career in their field and their specifics. By fostering that, they will create families, and hopefully one day they will remember the days that I've scolded them. Why are you late? Why are you not on time? Why didn't you keep your place tidy? And those things might seem normal in certain circumstances, but believe me, the father figure, and that father figure is not literal. Doesn't have to be a man, but that figure of mentorship is important, and it's a personal thing for me.
Wow. Thank you so much for joining us in studio. And so, as you've heard it, with Swift Nova Engineering Solutions, it's not just about education, but ensuring that the people that come in through those doors leave with values that make them leaders of tomorrow, both in their personal lives and in their professional lives. Thank you for joining us on this special segment of Episode 3 for Africa Skills Live.
0, all engine running. Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
A huge benefit of getting qualified as an artisan is the focus on getting learners into apprenticeship work opportunities. This system offers additional workforce to host companies, various tax rebates that can be claimed, and an increase in company productivity. Through this program, learners are gaining experience while applying their new knowledge. To find out if the work exposure and practical training is of value to them, we say hi to Athini Oliphant, a learner welder at Africa Skills in George. Welcome, Athini.
Yes, sir. Yes, Judy. How are you today?
I'm well. How are you?
I'm good.
So I want to take you through your journey. Tell us that process from deciding that you wanted to be a welder and then joining Africa Skills. What is that story?
My story is I was a hand clanker in George in Kimberley, and sometimes, some of the time, I've decided to just move with my life forward, and I wanted to be a qualified welder, and I went to African Skills and then I applied, and then they took me as a Ep.3 in African Skills, and I am 2.5 years now there, and I'm happy to be there, working with them, and my life is becoming more and more better with their service at African Skills, and I love to be there, and I'm feeling more confident now than I were when I was then came there, and they are so helpful, and as a slow learner in my life, and now I can do something better with my life, and but there, Judy, there.
All right. So tell me, how has it been with Africa Skills? Like, you touched on it a bit, but go deeper. So what has that experience been since you joined them as a student, as a learner? How has it been learning welding? What's that experience been like?
As a student under Mr. Wynand's guidance and other hosts' guidance in George, and I'm just feel like they are my second family, and when you came to African Skills, you are no one, now you are someone, and you are feeling like someone, and then you get second family in your life, and here I am today. I'm a 2.5 year student in African Skills, and I'm proud of myself, and I'm still going far with my life.
And
You
so
see, Judy.
I want to go into that balance, and you spoke about it, being a student and also getting to practice, getting the practical part. What has that been like? So as a welder student, getting an opportunity to study, but also now the fact that you can practice that and you can join a host employer. Why do you think it's so important to have that balance?
To have that balance, Judy, you must avail yourself to be someone, and then you must get to the environment that you are in now, and you must avail yourself all the time. Then when someone sends you to go to someone, and you must learn in life, you must learn another person as you. And in life, you must not think about yourself. You must also think about another person.
So where were you able to gain your practical experience? So who did you work under? So in terms of welding, who have you worked with or worked under? Which company?
I went to Multimetal today for 3 months.
Okay.
Then I went back to African Skills. Then in African Skills, I felt like if I'm under Mr. Wynand's supervision, then I can express myself a bit more. You see, I'm not giving him a credit, but in my eyes, I can talk. I'm free to express myself with him on my side.
Yeah.
Then to be with him in my life, it's in my journey of welding. Today, it's more. I'm capable to do what I want to do, and to think out of the box.
Yes.
with myself. And when I'm sitting at the house and I'm thinking about my things that I will do tomorrow, and
Purpose.
you
It
see,
gives you like a vision.
is there.
And let's talk about that vision. Tell me about what you want to get done. What do you hope for? What is the career dream using your qualifications and what you're going to learn?
You see, today I just want to be an assessor in my life, because of I was looking at when I came to African Skills, the journey of, you see, you have a role model in your life.
Yes.
When I came to African Skills, I've just adapt some characters of the people that are around me that time, and I wanted to be an assessor, because of the assessors are the people in back then. In the days, I wanted to be a teacher. So, but now I'm adapting now to be a teacher. Then
Exactly.
to the end, I want to be an assessor. Maybe the polar maker one day, or a moderator one day. But I have that thing that I want to learn more about welding.
So Athini, tell us, in the field of welding, I want you to take me through what is it that you've been learning from the beginning, some of the specific lessons that you've learned in the world of welding.
As I've said earlier today, you find in welding machines that we are using. In the machines, you get a stick, that one with a rod, and you get MIG, that one with a rolled wire, and you get a stick also, that one with the you just gathering wire in the case. And then today, what I want to say, when you are using you are building something in welding, you must be more careful and think outside of the box. There's one thing that I want to share with you today. I took welding as a calling, as someone who's been wild now with 2 years with welding. Then welding is just for me as a calling. You see, of every one of us in the world, we are called to do something as teachers, as doctors, as everyone. But welding is also a calling. If you are abusing your calling today, you will not go anywhere in life if you don't take any step with your life. So what I want to say today, you must, everywhere you want to, if you want to be something, you must be proud of yourself, and then build yourself from what are you doing. Thank you today.
Thank you so much, Athini. Life is indeed made of dreams, and the ideal is not to only live them, but to give them wings so you may really experience that you are equipped, empowered, and ready to excel. Thank you so much, Athini, for taking us along in your dream to be a professional, well-remunerated welder. Africa Skills is here to help. So if you have gained skills and knowledge in a specific trade as a result of years of experience, you can only apply for APRL or Artisan Recognition of Prior Learning by calling any Africa Skills private college campus in George, Route 21 in Centurion, Gauteng, Puff Adder in Northern Cape, or at Rustenburg in the Northwest. It was great to have you on board. Make sure you join us again anywhere and at any time for more about applying and enrolling for your apprenticeship. Africa Skills is changing lives. See you again soon in the workshop.
Zero. All engine running. Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
A new reason why you need to study at Africa Skills Private College is at Africa Skills, we will qualify you as an artisan on the newest qualifications in South Africa, QCTO. And that means that you will get your knowledge, practical and workplace experience during the course of your qualification.
T-minus 15 seconds. Guidance is internal. 12, 11, 10, 9. Ignition sequence start. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. All engine running. Liftoff.